Hello, welcome to Pinoyathletics Track Talk Thursday. Um, so I'll just get straight to the presentation. It's almost 11 o'clock p.m. in Australia, and therefore almost 8 p.m. in Philippines. So with Pinoyathletics Track Talk Thursday, as due to being busy with various upgrades to the site and other commitments, our track talks, which are usually scheduled on Tuesday and either Thursday or Saturday or Sunday, are now rather sporadic. So we don't really have any sure plans. These track talks are now more just wrap-ups of what material we have on the site and what videos we have on the page, and also the events that we're doing at the moment more than anything else. Okay, I can see we're already getting a little bit of an audience. I just have 7 viewers at the moment, so shout outs to Edward Sadigo, York Tamayo, and May JY. Right, now this is quickly with stats on the site. As of this month of December, 17 days through, we have 36,794 views. Our target is basically our record. Our all-time monthly view record was last month in November, where we had 52,772. Now, to get past that, we need 1,141 views per day. Or if we want to go higher and aim for to get to 60,000 for the first time ever, we need to get 1,601 average visits per day. Okay, I just have a shout out from York Tamayo, a young coach from Laguna. Good evening, all the way from Columbus City team, Escola Athletics. So yeah, we hope that during these tough COVID times, that our grassroots coaches are doing well and endeavoring to still, do what they can with coaching and training and that sort of thing. So yeah, the page has exceeded 34,000 followers. Yeah, that was kind of expected. Now, when I stated that we're really busy with upgrading and other activities at the moment, we're in the process with various tools that we apply on our site of improving our articles. So you're going to be seeing longer 2,500 word, 3,000 word type articles coming up. We've already going to feature some of these extended articles that we've just upgraded later on in the presentation. Mainly these longer articles are on training and various questions regarding training elements. We also have purchased the professional version of Grammarly because a lot of our readers were giving us the constructive feedback that we need to improve the grammar on our site because some of it wasn't flowing, or it was in the wrong tense, or a lot of what I was really guilty of was missing out on semicolons. There was a lack of semicolons throughout the site in general, and Grammarly was really good because it allows me just to go through without having to check everything manually, because simply I just do not have any time to check spelling on articles, because some of my articles are 10,000 words long, so that's effectively 10,000 words. That's pretty much like a 6-7 chapter book, so 8 chapter book. It's a really long piece of writing to check, and I simply do not have the time to check that. So Grammarly, the purchased version, I got a discount on it. It's usually $150 a year for Grammarly. I got it for about $115, $120 because I was able to get a bit of a discount on Grammarly for a year's subscription. We also have, we're not charging for the use of all this information, but obviously it has now attracted a lot of advertising deals. We went off AdSense because, you know, that hardly, from Google AdSense, that hardly pays anything. That's why we don't really use YouTube videos. We use Facebook videos because the advertising revenue on those is better. You know, like AdSense is also with YouTube as well. So we do not use AdSense anymore. We get private offers for placements of ads now, which are now allowing us to fund virtual events and purchase more tools to improve the quality of our website. Okay, also shout out to Marcel Austria, who's just joined us. Now, okay, so the event that we have been hosting is the Pinoy Athletics Women's in Sport Virtual Women's 60-meter dash. Dash for cash. Now, I just want to reiterate that this event is held by Pinoy Athletics, and it is not associated or affiliated in any which way or form with the Philippine Sports Commission or the PTAFA. It's entirely our independent event. So any queries on this event should be directed at pinoyathletics@gmail.com. You can find the link to the all the updated information on this event at pinoyathletics.info, virtual women's 60 meters. Now, I had to extend the event because it was originally going to finish on December the 12th, but we extended it to December the 19th because due to exams and weather, like heavy rain weather. So now the event will end on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. So that's the deadline of all submissions of videos. Stay tuned on Sunday night for our presentation video sequence, and we will announce the winner of the 2020 Virtual Women's 60-meter dash for cash. We had 15 entries for this event, which was more than which was twice what I expected. So far, 7 videos have been submitted, and the bulk of videos will be submitted tomorrow. This was a free event. We didn't charge a cent for it. As I'm saying, the sponsors and ad revenue have generated enough to cover these events. So we're trying to stay away from charging any entry fee to our participants. Not only was there no entry fee charged, but all the participants are going to be provided with a free singlet valued at 700 Philippine pesos from our kind sponsor. So we would like to thank Massive Sports. They are the clothing and sportswear brand that covers a lot of the UAAP teams and some of the National Sports Association and various sports. So you can check out their Facebook page for some great sportswear. Now, as this event has been fairly successful, you know, like, I'm happy that we have 7 videos in. That's really enough to finalize a competition, but, you know, there'll be more videos coming in. So the event has already met my minimal expectation before it's finished. So definitely, as we have more ad revenue coming in, we will hold other virtual events. As this event went quite well, we're planning for our next virtual event in January. So we will have announcements on that virtual event within the next week or so, or maybe even on Sunday, with details on how to enter the next virtual event and what event and specifications we will have for that. Now, so as stated, you can check all the details on www.pinoyathletics.info, virtual women's 60 meters. We also have a video on our website and on our Facebook page of the event itself in progress, which I might play now. So again, I'd like to announce special shout outs to Joy Solomon and General Bonset, who have just tuned in now to our presentation. I might play the 60 women's. Okay, I'll just run the video now. Just 1 moment. Okay, I need to load it up in VLC because it's not, it loaded up, but then it wasn't allowing me to share the video. So I'll just, this is the video which is on our page, but I'll be now sharing it. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. Okay, yes, it is working, good. We have more videos which we'll be submitting shortly. Good. Okay, so yeah, that's the video. We'd like to also welcome Coach Jack Gando, the man behind the success of sprinter Jomo Utohan and middle distance athlete Mervyn Kawati, among many others. He had an interesting question regarding the location of the video. So yeah, the videos, it's a virtual 60-meter run. So it's done all over the Philippines. The locations in these videos are Mindoro. So basically in order of my best recall of the videos from the first video to the last video, I believe it's Mindoro, Bukidnon, then it was CDO, Bohol, no, CDO, Pagadi, and Bohol, and then back to CDO. So it was done in different locations in the Philippines, which is all you can really do with virtual runs, because you can't honestly you can't have competitions with lots of people at the moment due to the COVID. But in different parts of the country, ovals are open. I mean, in Manila, places like Manila, Cebu, and Davao City, a lot of the ovals are closed because of the level of COVID in those places. But in certain places in the country, there are some elements of training that are able to happen as the restrictions are not as tight as some of the major, more contaminated areas in the country. Special shout out to Gerald Bale as well. Now, I'll just, so the last week I did this, it only went for 30 minutes, but, we're already, nearly 20 minutes through, and I'm only up to my third slide, so I'll just head back to my presentation. That video really added a little bit on to the value of the presentation. Anyhow, back to it. All right, so now the 2020 Southeast Asian Athletics rankings for the whole year have been completed. I did about 5 or 6 revisions on this over the last 2 days, and I sent the final copy to the Asian Athletics chief statistician. This is basically all the top 10 in Southeast Asia from each country from January the 1st, 2020, right up until today. As far as I know, there are no more meets being held this year. So that basically finalizes all the competitions for the year. The link down the bottom is pinoyathletics.info 2020 Southeast Asian Rankings Athletics. A long one, but worth the good read. So I'll be going into some brief details about what the recent competitions are and updates in terms of results. Obviously, I had to invalidate some results, because some of the results, such as the ones in Thailand and the result from the recent Malaysian meet, was not done with the right number of technical officials. So those results have been classed as invalid, but still ranked and listed in a separate section. So as of now, pretty much Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia to some extent, Vietnam, they're all having competitions and meets at the moment, and they have been doing so for the last couple of months. It's only Indonesia and the Philippines which is not able to hold meets at the moment for the second half of 2020. So yeah, again, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore have all been holding meets for the last couple of months. All right, so moving on to the next screen, this is what has been going on in terms of meets and results. So yeah, the Thailand National Championships has just finished. On our last presentation, we had a summary of what went on there. We also have it right up on the Thailand National Championships. The good performances at the Thailand National Championships came in the men's sprints and the throwing events. those were the main key events. The jumps and the hurdle events were not, in the middle distance were not, and even the long distance were not really excellent results. In the men's sprints, and particularly in the 1 and the 2, Sirapul Ponpa, the SEA Games silver medalist in the 200 meters, he ran a windy, plus 2.1, so slightly windy 110.34 and a 20.85 200. This is on their new national stadium in Bangkok. And then in the throwing events, the most impressive performance there was from Boomawang Kidipong, who threw the SEA Games champion in the hammer throw, who threw 68 meters, improving on his 67.23 meter throw in the SEA Games in the hammer throw. He is edging closer towards the 68.66 meter Southeast Asian record of Caleb Stewart's of the Philippines, set in 2015. Also impressive in the Thailand Open with the top 3 in the women's javelin all threw over 50 meters. Jaria won in 54 meters. SEA Games champion Nata was second in 53, and then their upcoming athlete threw 50 meters. The Vietnamese had a Mekong River meet, so there were 6 or 7 performances there which were good enough to rank in the top 10 in the Southeast Asian rankings. But the interesting thing is that in the Vietnamese nationals, there was 7 women who ran below 12 seconds, and one, the 8th place was 12 flat. This is all electronics. In the women's 100. Then in the Mekong River meet, they had an additional 3 women on top of the other 7 who ran under 12 as well. So they have like 10 women running under 12 so far this month, not including the ones who haven't ran yet. So in the Malaysian simulation meets, there was 2 of them. It's mainly a lot of good jump performances. There were some decent performances in the men's 100, with Jonathan Napier having a 10.60 run. In the Malaysian simulation, there were some very good jumps with Romley in the 780 range, and 2 of them jumping over 1304 and 1302 meters in the women's triple jump. Singapore has had 2 performance tests. In the second test, Shanti Pereira improved to number 3 in the Southeast Asian rankings to 11.69, behind Christina Knott and Letu Chin. And then, of course, our virtual 60-meter run, with the results to be announced on this Sunday. Okay, so that's just a summary of, and this is up on our website. I mean, that's probably pretty small print, but this is the summary of the Mekong River meet. The competition held near the mighty Mekong River, Asia's longest river, which was a provincial grassroots meet by the Vietnamese to discover new talent, composed of 13 provinces, part of their outreach grassroots program. So these are the best performances from that meet, which was held there. There were some performances there that were good enough to rank in the top 10 in Southeast Asia. For example, just going through it, the women's 5K, the men's hammer was an improvement. I believe the hurdles, and this was about 5 or 6 performances there. Anyway, going to the next screen. Okay, so yeah, so we've got, like I said, I've been upgrading a lot of the material on the website. So one interesting view is how to use foam rollers, amazing guide. The website's down the bottom. So with the athletes I'm coaching online, I'm basically advising them to get a foam roller. Foam rolling, according to peer-reviewed material, is best done before the workout, as it stimulates and wakes up the muscles. So as my routine is here, like very similar to this, you can see that in these in these diagrams, the foam rolling application is being done. I usually do I usually do 20 reps on each leg, like for 1 set each. So as you can see here, he's rolling his neck, he's rolling his calves, he's rolling his back, he's rolling his adductor, he's rolling his shoulders, arms, glute, quads, abductor, and upper back. Yeah, I would also maybe add hips to the sequence as well. It hasn't been mentioned here, but I'd also add hips as well. So the foam roller is a really useful thing to have if you can't afford to get massages, as it basically helps a bit from the body, helping the body not break down so quickly. Going to the next one. This is another article which we've now turned into a nearly 3,000 word article. It was originally submitted by a guest writer, but I've added more to it. So this is basically advising about the different types of protein shakes and the benefits. So reading up on protein shakes, there are some benefits to taking it before as well as after workouts, also before going to bed. So different types of protein, different breakdown periods. It can all be read about down below at pinoyathletics.info, health benefits of protein shakes. And then also we updated our section on the brief history of gymnastics. So that's been updated, and now that's a 3,000 word article, basically telling the history of gymnastics from the Egyptians to the Minoans to the Greeks to the Romans to the modern invention of gymnastics, right up until the modern era of the phenomenon of, younger female gymnasts dominating the sport, and how they had to put an age restriction on gymnastics. So that's all summarized here in the pinoyathletics.info history for gymnastics. So we're not just about athletics, we're also about the history of sport. So we've also got a very comprehensive guide to the history of gymnastics on our site. Okay, so this is like how I'm going to leave the presentation today. So coaching. Behind every fearless player is a fearless coach who refuses to let them be anything but the best they can be. All right, so that's my closing thoughts on today's presentation. Now, a special shout out also to Christopher Marumba. Now we'll take questions, and then we'll round this off. We'll just check the site to see if we have any questions, and then we'll finish that one off. Again, thank you everybody very much for tuning in tonight. If you missed this out, if you missed out on this presentation, the replay will be available through our website. Just bear with me. I'm just going to see where this has actually been. This is actually being streamed. My apologies. I'm just trying to find out where I've streamed this. Okay. Okay, so there's more people tuning in. So Mitch Chang. So again, special shout out to all those who tuned in. So York Tamayo, Edward Sadigo, Mitch Chang, Christopher Marumba, Gerald Bale, Joy Solomon, Junsel Bunset, Marisol Austria, Meiji, and Coach Jack Gando. All right, so without further ado, I guess that is it for tonight. Tune in on Sunday night. We'll have announcements for the exact time for our announcements regarding the winner of the 2020 Pinoy Athletics virtual women's 60-meter dash for cash. That will all be finalised on Sunday night. So take care, everybody, and good night.